Part 3 of Emotional Affair Outside. I do have a new theory on why she wants to meet him. I think he may be heavy. She has been watching a show on demand a few times lately called Heavy. She watched one last night. It struck me while we were watching it that he might be heavy. I asked her how much he weighs. She got defensive and said it's none of my business. I asked if she knows and she said yes. I started to get angry, but I kept it under control. I told her later I was sorry that I got aggravated. Her knowing his weight just shows that they have talked about physical characteristics. She said if it'll make me feel any better. That is the only physical characteristic she knows about him. I asked if she knows his height and she said she only knows his weight. She has called me fat for years. I was 200 pounds at 5'8" for quite a while. Unfortunately, it certainly wasn't above 200 pounds. While I had lost down to about 180 and lately to 160. Several times when I would mention our horrible bed life, she would say something like, if you would only work out like you used to, our bed life would be better. Even at a point when I was working out hard and was in the best shape of my life. The physical life never improved. The point is that looks are very important to her. She has a very strong emotional attachment to him. She has made that perfectly clear. If my theory is correct and he is heavy, then she may be wanting to meet him to see if she can overcome the fact that he isn't a cover model for muscle and fitness. I don't know another plausible explanation for her knowing his weight, her new interest in the show Heavy, and her defensiveness when I asked how much he weighed. I firmly believe what is inside someone is much more important than their body size and shape. After 3 kids, her body is not what it was when we married either. However, I have never been unattracted to her and have always made it clear that I think she is beautiful, regardless of how much she weighs. Plana is going okay. I just saw the rest of the chat from 2 weeks ago. He has done time in jail. And another 1-year work release. Why didn't that show up on the criminal history I purchased? I know I have the right guy because I have talked to his stepmom twice. She confirmed the information that I had. He said he settled down after the kids were born. He has said his oldest is 11 and he turned 34 today, according to the date of birth on the supposed criminal history report. That doesn't make it sound like it would have been a juvenile record. Also, the 1-year work release was supposed to be after his kids were born. Is he lying to her about the jail time or is the criminal history report an error? I don't understand why he would lie about being in jail unless it is trying to sound like a bad boy. We talked a while last night. Again, she told me she wants to meet him before she ends it. I told her that the only reason to meet him is to see if there is a physical connection as well as an emotional connection. She has already left me in her heart and mind for her image of this man. She just wants to meet him to see if her image is correct or not. If she goes to meet him, the deal is done. She went to her counselor yesterday, I know. The advice has been to stop paying for that, however. I do love her and want her to be able to work through the issues that she has been struggling with for years. She said the counselor asked her what she would do if she got out there and found out Romeo wasn't all she thought he was. She told the counselor that she guesses she would go to marriage counseling. I told her that what she is basically saying is that I am her fallback plan. She doesn't want to end it with me until she finds out if Romeo is all he's cracked up to be. If she meets Prince Charming and he is what she imagines, then she would leave me and the kids. She said she doesn't know that. So I asked her what the point would be in meeting him then. I told her that, of course, they would hit it off on a brief visit. He could put his best foot forward and hide anything bad very easily on a weekend visit. It would take a while before everything came to the surface above the infatuation which would hide all imperfections. She asked if I would try to take away her kids. I told her that I do not want to take the kids away from their mother. However, I will not allow them to go with her to her train-wreck relationship with this other man. It would last at best 6 months to a year because it is based on lies and cheating. I will not subject my children to that. I reiterated that she is the one that wants to take them away from me by separating over this other man. She is the one that wants to deprive the children of having both parents. She finally said that she will not meet him. Also, she will stop calling him. She still refused to give me her password to her cell phone and write a no-contact letter. I told her that just shows me that she is not telling the truth. Also, she will not agree to work on the marriage, no marriage counseling, no marriage builder game, which has been sitting in the closet for over a month unopened, etc. I did not raise my voice or cuss during the entire conversation. We kept it calm and just discussed it. I went to the store and called her with a question while we were out. She was crying. When I got home, I asked her if she had called him. She said yes, that she called him to tell him she wouldn't be calling anymore. Do I believe it is over? No, I give it 3 days at best before she reinitiates contact. I'll just keep working on the carrot. I will continue to improve myself. I will continue working on being super dad. I'm probably on YouTube somewhere. My attempt at skating with the kids this weekend was quite comical. I am sure. Lol, however. I was having fun with the kids. She said the jail time was because he had bought an expensive sports car and couldn't afford the insurance. He kept getting tickets for no insurance and subsequently went to jail for it. I said, great, he is rich, because of her description of the expensive sports car. She said no. He is far from rich. I said yeah, I guess so. He couldn't afford the insurance because he bought too much car and went to jail for it. Supposedly, also, I pointed out that he has a roommate. He isn't even supporting himself. How could she expect him to support a family? I am her backup plan if he doesn't end up being a nice guy. We also discussed my backup plan yesterday. She mentioned that I didn't meet her emotional needs and he did. Why can't I understand that? I said, I do understand that. She has called me ugly over the years. She asked how long has it been since she said that. I agreed that it has been a few years. But she never said anything to the contrary. The only time she has called me handsome was the night she sent me out to a bar so she could have her online love fest with another man. She said that night, you are quite a handsome man, you have to wear this to the bar. And handed me my wedding ring. I told her that I met the other girl after staying up all night watching her flirt online with her lover. I slept in my clothes and got up early to watch her affair. More to copy the transcripts for documentation than a morbid curiosity. The next morning, I know I hadn't shaved, brushed my teeth, changed clothes, put in my contacts, or anything else. I don't know if I had even brushed my hair that morning when I realized the store was about to close. I went out to get the dog food and cat food that my wife called me to remind me of while she was flirting with boyfriend. I saw this girl and, even though I was looking my worst, she was attracted to me and enthusiastically agreed to a date. I told my wife yesterday that in 5 minutes of seeing this other girl, she fulfilled an emotional need that my wife hasn't met in years. I agreed that is extremely powerful. One reason I called to ask the other girl out is to see if I was imagining that she was indeed attracted to me. Her immediate acceptance of a date confirmed it. However, I did call her the next day and told her I shouldn't date while I am still married. I have not contacted her further. I told my wife yesterday that she doesn't know what phantom boyfriend looks like, supposedly. I know this girl is hot. The difference is that I am not pursuing her, even though she is ready, willing, and able. I did not tell my wife that this other girl is my backup plan. I will call her and ask her out again at some point if the marriage does indeed continue on the current course and end. But it will be after I have tried my best. I will have a clear conscience knowing that I did my best to save our marriage, even though my wife has already thrown it in the garbage. It's over, I give up. I found the phone last night, 9 hours of calls, data transfers. I assume texting, both ways, voicemail that I was able to record, only on his side. I love you, I miss you, I want to spend every second of every day for the rest of my life with you. I can't wait to meet you and hear your heartbeat and feel your soft skin. I'm done. I changed the PIN number, but she still figured out a way to change the password. I screwed up again and played the tape for her. She pulled my trick of pulling the modem and went out to call him. She got the password changed even though I had changed the PIN number. Last time, I changed the password, but didn't change the PIN. I packed her bag and left it on the front porch. She had an extra key and came in. She was mad that I wrinkled her clothes. I grabbed them and wrinkled them some more and threw them all over the room. I did help pick them up and even sprayed the shirts to get the wrinkles out. I had told her the affair was emotional abuse. After I threw the clothes around, she said, "Don't you call this abuse?" The spraying the clothes was more defensive than out of kindness. I shouldn't be throwing any fuel on the fire that could come back and bite me in the butt in divorce proceedings. I was mistaken in my earlier post. I was thinking 9 hours. I looked back. I left off a digit. It is 19 plus hours on the phone. Adding up the actual calls that were on the phone only totaled to 7 hours and 35 minutes. I suppose she learned how to delete the calls from the phone log, or it only carries so many. The 7 hours shows almost daily contact. I can't imagine where the other 12 hours come into play. I have an appointment with a pastor of my boss's church on Monday. It is 5 minutes from the office. I don't have much choice but to suck it up until I get the funds for an attorney. as much as I want it to be over right now. I can't find a way at this point. I used to say I would be a millionaire at 40. I was well on track at 25, before I got married, bought way too much house. Too much car, too much stuff. Too much jewelry, too many paintings. Etc. Etc. All to try to please a woman that has thrown our relationship in the toilet. Well, I'm 40 and in debt up to my eyeballs, totally broke. And can't scratch up enough cash to get out of a miserable marriage, not quite where I always thought I would be at this point in life. In trying to control my angry outbursts, I have been working very hard on my anger issues, however. I am discovering that as I control my anger, the intense pain is overwhelming. This weekend while the kids were gone, it hit me like a Mack truck. We were upstairs and I went downstairs and bawled like a baby. After a bit, she came down and caught me in the act, crying like a baby. That is, I know I'm not supposed to cry in front of her. I guess I should have gone on a walk. She sat down and said she can handle me throwing her clothes around the room better than she can handle me crying. She said the crying shows her that I care. I said, yeah. But it also makes me look like a weak crybaby. She said she didn't see me as a crybaby, just a man that is hurting, of course. That wasn't enough to stop hurting me. It was shortly after that when she went to call him. We didn't talk much Sunday. I took the kids bowling and to the park for a few hours. The time alone while they were playing gave me too much time to think about things. I didn't want to cry in front of the kids, so I allowed the anger to overcome the pain. I came home angry. She talked about him and I had another angry outburst, cussing, etc. Am I just crazy? Am I mentally ill? Why is there still a part of me that wants her? Most of me. I'm going to see a counselor on Wednesday. Maybe that will help. This emotional roller coaster ride is destroying me. We had a good day Saturday and it looked like there was a glimmer of hope. I have had a goatee for years because she liked it. I shaved it off Saturday. She actually told me I looked handsome. The goatee detracted from my eyes and without it my eyes popped. We had a nice dinner and played some games. I'm sure she called him when I went to get dinner. But I didn't mention that. It was when she went to call him after she was too tired to continue playing games with me that I lost it. It's like I let my guard down a little and she hits me with a knockout punch. Sorry, I have rambled again. I just don't know what to do. I feel better when I am working the plan in 180. Then, I get a little glimmer of hope that things might work out. Then, bam, this guy pops back to the forefront. It's been a very rough few days. She told me of a plan this weekend that really set me off. I have had several angry outbursts, which have not helped the situation. I was able to get the voice-activated recorder set up in the car last night before her drive to the store. I listened to some of it after she got home and I thought she was in bed. She must have suspected something because she found me listening to it. She offered a deal. She'll agree to absolutely no contact with him for the rest of April if I'll give her the tape. Listening to the tape could only hurt me. As bad as I wanted to listen to the whole thing to see exactly what is going on, it could only reduce our chances at recovery. I didn't know if it would even be admissible in divorce court. They don't seem to give a flip about affairs. I traded the tape for her cell phone battery and a promise to not contact him for the rest of the month. She called him in my presence and told him there will be no contact until at least May 1st. I guess a month of no contact is better than every day and night calls. I told her I don't believe her. We'll see. Do I have faults? Absolutely, as we all do. I can't do anything about her. But I can and will work on me. This morning, for the first time in a long time, I liked what I saw in the mirror. The working out is starting to show. I got a haircut yesterday. She is amazing, somehow. She managed to give me a cut that just falls in the right places to cover my very receding hairline without looking like I'm trying to cover up a receding hairline. It just falls that way. I don't know how she did it. I look like I have the head of hair I did 20 years ago. She, the haircut lady, said I look like a French artist. I don't know if that is necessarily good or bad, but I like the fact that it covers the right spots. When I stopped to get gas today, the lady behind the counter kind of did a double take. She probably does that to many men coming in there. But it did help to boost my confidence somewhat. I am making changes that are increasing my view of myself. It was nice to like the man looking back at me in the mirror this morning. I don't know if she'll ever come around or if reconciliation is even possible. I do know that I am going to come out of this a better person. I go to see my counselor in a few minutes. I don't remember if I already posted this. But at one point he was a personal trainer for a professional football team. Maybe he can help me to work on myself both internally and externally. On the plan aside, he leaves her voicemail messages. She can check voicemail without the battery. I don't believe she knows that. But just in case, I have been leaving some voicemail as well. All good, nothing bad. He shouldn't have sole access to her voicemail. If she's going to go listen to his crap, she should have something from me in there as well. His voicemail I heard mentioned wanting to spend every second of every day with her. Well, that sounds awfully smothering to me. What about the kids? Mine was that I want to rock our grandchildren together. I know, the 180 says to act like you don't care. But the plan says to fill the love bank. It's a fine line. The house is half hers. We both have a legal right to the house. Neither can force the other to leave, short of divorce or legal separation, possibly. I refuse to leave my home. From the advice I've received here, she refuses to leave our home. He's a loser halfway across the country that has a roommate. He's not even supporting himself. She said she doesn't want to hurt the kids, so she'll end it. I asked if she'll give me the phone password. She said no. Then I said, you are not really ending it. She called him as I was putting the kids to bed and talked for 2 hours. I went to get a drink and she was in the kitchen. I grabbed the phone and gave him a few choice words. Of course, she was angry. I was ending it. You didn't have to end it like that. I said, a goodbye phone call lasts 5 minutes. A let's plan our next steps phone call lasts 2 hours. She insisted that she ended it, but I told her that even if she did, it isn't enough to keep this marriage. She said she did it for the kids' sake. I told her that she has to commit to the marriage fully and completely with complete transparency, or we need to proceed with the liquidation of assets, etc. Now the hard 180, forget plan at this point. I will begin moving on. No, I don't buy the fact that it is over. She'll be right back at it in less than 3 days. Her addiction is too strong. Her hatred and contempt for me is too strong. Her stubbornness is too strong. One of the last things I said before going to bed was that she will jump right back on her roller coaster. She says it is over. But she will be calling him again soon. Oh yeah. She said she has seen his picture now. A few days ago, supposedly. So much for the she'll get one look at the guy and it'll be over theory. I told her I'm getting off this roller coaster ride. It's made me too sick already. The woman I love is inside this current monster somewhere. I don't know if she will ever emerge again or not. Yes, she currently treats me worse than I would treat a dog. She gave me 3 wonderful children that I love very deeply. She also loves these children deeply. Her addiction to the affair has turned her into a monster. I can drive 10 minutes from the office and find women walking the streets willing to do anything for that next little rock. The affair supposedly has the same addictive qualities as crack. It becomes the only thing that consumes you and you are willing to give up anything to get it. I watched my wedding video last week. That woman I married is buried somewhere in this beast. My weaknesses as a husband over the years helped to bury that wonderful woman I married. It takes 2 to make a marriage work. It also took the faults of both of us to get to this point. I certainly don't condone an affair or think that was a good choice. I certainly don't think I deserve the hell I have been living in for months, however. I do admit that I had a part in the marriage going south. I don't love this monster I am currently roommates with. I love the woman that is trapped inside that monster. Whether that woman will ever come out, I don't know. She may very well be gone forever. She knows I was completely serious last night. I wasn't speaking out of anger. I was calm and collected. I laid it out in very simple terms. I made it clear that I will not remain married to this beast. I do not believe the beast will subside. I am moving on. I will not leave the home. However, I will begin systematically liquidating the assets. I will also work on a few home repairs to bring the home into a more marketable condition. I will be contacting a realtor in the near future. I will be discussing with her on a daily basis the terms of the divorce and working out the details. If she doesn't give it up willingly along with the passwords, what is the point? If I smash the phone, she could easily just get another. It has to come from her. She has to give it up. We had that discussion last night. She needs to give up the phone, passwords, etc. She has to show transparency to build my trust back. Without her willing commitment to do that, the relationship will continue to spiral downhill. The good news is there isn't much hill left. This ride is about over. One way or the other, either she turns around completely and obligates herself 100% to our marriage, or the big D is coming soon, even if she turns around at this point. I don't know if either of us has enough gas to get back up that big hill. We were talking last night, she said, we just don't have feelings for each other anymore. I agreed. I have been looking at the affair as the problem. The affair is just a symptom of much deeper problems. That just hit me, so what if the affair is truly over or not? Those much deeper problems are still there. I am obsessed with that darn phone. I bring it up daily. I tell her it would be so easy to just give it up and give me the passwords. That would be a great start to rebuilding trust, however. She insists that she needs something that is her own. Yes. I know, that is most likely an excuse. For my sanity, I have to stop obsessing. I have to drop it. Fighting constantly over the darn phone is no good. How do I stop obsessing? I suspect it will come to the surface in a few weeks. We will be getting another vehicle. I signed up for a motorcycle class at the end of the month. I am searching for a motorcycle with the intent to buy one in the next couple of weeks. She said she would like to go to the class also. We are both going to spend the weekend together at the class. That has two possibilities. It could be a new, exciting thing we can do together. Right now, we will just be buying one motorcycle. But my father-in-law has one we could use to go on bike rides together. Of course, the other possibility is that she'll take off on it to Colorado. Sunday, the kids and I went to church, the park, and the river. We had a good day together. I grilled out for supper. Again, not for her sake, because some folks were grilling at the river and it really made me hungry. So, we didn't talk much or spend much time together. I still have the battery to the cheat phone. I don't believe she has another. But that is definitely a possibility. As others said, my marriage is over and it will not even have a chance to restart until she fully engages in it, therefore. I am preparing to move on. I'm doing things because I want to, not putting every action through the filter of what she will think. Actually, she called me on our way home from the river. She wanted me to just bring home Wendy's since she was hungry and it would be easier. I said, no. I'm grilling out. If you can't wait, get a snack. She has been very depressed the last week or so. I believe that is part of the script relating to ending an affair. She seems to be mourning her loss of other man. That's just my guess and I'm not banking on it. She did say a few times this weekend, "You are an awesome dad." My daughter even told me that she told them that. However, that is one thing she has never wavered on. It still doesn't mean she wants me as a husband. That is one reason she has been torn. I'm a great dad, but Mr. Wonderful is so thoughtful and understanding, etc. Of course he was. He never had anything but good from her. So, as far as the marriage goes, I don't see nor expect to see any improvement anytime soon. We haven't fought in several days. That may or may not be a good sign. It may just mean that we're both tired of putting up the energy to fight. Either way, I will continue the working out, church, time with the kids, etc. If she ever decides to work on our marriage, I'll give it a shot. Until then, I will continue working on myself and working on making the home more marketable. I finally talked to Om last night. I tried to call him yesterday, but he didn't answer. As usual, surprisingly, he actually returned my call as I was driving home. He apologized and said he didn't know she was married for a long time. I believe that, since we had fought many times, that she should tell him she was married if she was going to spend so much time with him. He said it was over and they had decided to go their separate ways. He was apologetic. Of course, the paranoia says there are several possibilities. 1. Though it was her who called using my cell phone. That is why he called back, however. He did talk to me instead of immediately hanging up when he heard it was me instead of her. 2. They are talking and he told her I had called him. They decided to try to throw me off track by him calling me back and acting apologetic. 3. They truly did end it when she said she did. They have not talked or had contact since it was truly over. He felt the need to apologize. Her reality, no matter what she did, she didn't deserve what I did. I asked what? Hussing her out for hours every night, grabbing things from her, dumping her drawers out, digging through stuff, pushing her around, telling her family everything I did was out of cruelty. Nothing she did was out of cruelty. The reality related to these accusations. Absolutely. Was it every night? No. Was it for hours when it did happen? Not usually. Did I cuss during these arguments? Yes, I was in the Marines and I do still cuss when I'm angry. Was I cussing her out? Is an affair, another guy, what in the hell are you thinking, etc. Is cussing her out, then yes. Admittedly, there were 2 or 3 times that I called her a B. But that is not every night for hours. Grabbing things from her. There was a time or two I grabbed the affair phone from her hand. Dumping her drawers out, I dumped her drawers into a suitcase and put it on the front porch one night when she went to call Loverboy. I dumped them on the floor one night when it looked to me like she was about to go call Loverboy. It looked like she was about to get the affair phone out of one of the drawers. Digging through stuff, yes, I have systematically searched for that damn phone. Pushing her around, she has thrown that out several times. Each time I ask her when I have pushed her around. Each time she refers to me using my physical strength to keep her off of me. One time when printing the phone records. She clawed the heck out of my face trying to prevent me from printing the records of her affair phone. I have a picture. That is one of the mean things also, taking a picture of the large scratch on my face. By defending myself in these few instances, I was pushing her around, telling her family, well, yes, when she refused to end the affair. I exposed it far and wide. I have no regret for doing that. I was cruel in the way I talked to her. I said, don't you think it was cruel to look me in the eye and say you are going to call your lover boy? Don't you think it was cruel to ask me to pay for a rental car so you could drive across the freaking country to meet your lover boy? She is angry at me for not feeling remorse for these things. I justify my actions because of what she did. No matter what she did. She didn't deserve what I did. My comment. Some might wonder when the revenge affair comes in, give it time, be patient, sub and bell, let me cook my dinner. And work on the next part.